Hello friends, this video on human eye and the colorful world part 6 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 5 before going ahead with part 6. Now let us look at an interesting example of refraction, that is rainbow. So it is an interesting example of dispersion, refraction and reflection of sunlight by spherical rainwater droplets. So it is an example of all the three phenomena which we have studied so far. We studied reflection, we studied refraction, and just now we studied about dispersion as well. So rainbow is an example of all these three phenomena. So let us try to see how and when is a rainbow formed. When do you actually see a rainbow? If you observe, you will generally see a rainbow after rain. Then let us suppose you had a heavy rain. When the rain almost stops such that one part of the sky is sunny, whereas the other part of the sky is raining. Now if you stand keeping your back towards the sun, you will be able to see the rainbow. That is the observation. Now why that happens, that I'll explain you in the next two slides. So did you understand when exactly you see a rainbow? You will observe it for yourself, that when the rain stops and the weather is such that some part of the sky is sunny, you can see the sun there, and some part of the sky is still cloudy. Now if you stand in such a way that your back is towards the sun, in that case you will be able to see the rainbow in front of you. Right? Okay, so in this picture also you can see rainbow. So if you see, this part of the sky is cloudy, whereas this part of the sky is little sunny. So if you stand somewhere here, you will be able to see this rainbow. Now there are two types of rainbow. One is called a primary rainbow, the other one is a secondary rainbow. Now difference between, both of them look like the normal rainbow which you would have seen on the sky. The difference between a primary rainbow and secondary rainbow is because of the difference in their formation. Because of the difference in the way they are formed, they are named as primary rainbow and secondary rainbow. So now we will look at how is the rainbow formed. So let us first look at the primary rainbow formation. How is a primary rainbow formed? It is a stepwise process. So what happens now? Generally, as I mentioned, a rainbow is generally formed after a rain, right? So when there is a rainfall which had taken place, that means there will be some raindrops already present in the atmosphere, right? Some water droplets will be present in the atmosphere. Now what happens? And I also mentioned that it is formed only when some part of the sky is sunny. That means sunlight is present. So what happens when this sunlight enters the raindrop? Refraction takes place. As you can see in this figure, this is the sunlight which is entering the raindrop. So refraction will take place. Now sunlight is again white light. So as it enters the raindrop, it gets dispersed into the different colors. So you can see that the red end and the violet end get deviated by different angles because they have got different wavelengths and they are entering a medium of different refractive index, right? So refraction of sunlight takes place. In the next step, what happens? Total internal reflection of light takes place inside the drop. Now when they reach this boundary, what happens? Total internal reflection takes place. That means they get internally reflected and then they again come out from the other end. So what happens here again? Refraction of the reflected light takes place as it comes out of the drop, because again there is a change in medium, right? So what happened? While entering inside the raindrop, there was refraction. Inside there was internal reflection. When it strikes the boundary of the raindrop, it comes back, it bounces back. That is internal reflection. And then again when it comes out from the raindrop to the atmosphere, again refraction takes place. So as a result of this, what happens? Let us suppose if you are the observer. So let us suppose if you are standing somewhere here. So what do you see? you see the light rays which are coming out of the raindrop, right? For example, when I was talking about refraction through a glass slab, I told you that the observer always sees the emergent ray. That is, the observer always sees the ray which is coming out of the medium. So what is the emergent ray in these cases? These rays which are coming out of the medium are the ones which we see. So the observer sees the constituent colors, right? Because what was the input to the raindrop? Input was white sunlight, that is white light. But what was the output? Output is the spectrum of different colors, because now dispersion had also taken place, right? So what does the observer see? Firstly, the observer see the dispersed light, that is, it sees all the 7 different colors, right, from all of the raindrops. So as a result, we are able to see a rainbow. So now you can understand that why do we see a rainbow after a rain? Because only after a rain you will have so many water droplets in the atmosphere. Why do we see it when one part of the sky is sunny? Because only then you will have sunlight, and sunlight and raindrops are the 2 necessary things for a rainbow formation. And why are you able to see a rainbow only when you stand keeping your back towards the sun? That is because if you see, sunlight comes from here and it falls on the raindrop, and then whatever is coming from the raindrop, if that reaches your eye, only then you will be able to see the rainbow. So if you stand in such a way that your back is towards these raindrops, that means you are facing the sun. In that case, you will not be able to see the rainbow, because these rays coming out of the raindrops will not be able to reach your eye, right? Let us now look at the formation of secondary rainbow. Let us see what is different in case of secondary rainbow. In case of secondary rainbow also, refraction of sunlight takes place as it enters the raindrop. Internal reflection also takes place. So here if you see, this is how the sunlight enters. This is how internal reflection takes place. But in this case, internal reflection takes place inside the drop for the second time. So it is something like there are somewhere internal reflection will take place only once, somewhere internal reflection will take place twice. But however, the rainbow which you see will remain the same. There is no difference in the view of a primary rainbow and a secondary rainbow. It is just that since in the formation of a secondary rainbow, the internal reflection inside the raindrop takes place twice, so it is known as a secondary rainbow. And again, when it comes out of the drop, refraction takes place, as again there is a change in medium. So rest everything remains the same. It is just that in case of a secondary rainbow, the sunlight enters the drop in such a way that it strikes the boundary of the drop twice and bounces back. So internal reflection inside the drop takes place twice. So that is the only difference. So I hope you are able to understand that when is a rainbow formed, why is a rainbow formed at that time, and how is a rainbow formed. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.